It's Thursday, July 25th, day 18 of my Nova Scotia adventure, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of withdrawals. I see people on bikes and know that was me a few days ago. So it is bittersweet, but it's definitely awesome to be back in my car again. The roads don't feel as rough, and I've got air conditioning. Hey look, I found my car's twin in Virginia. How about that? After I was on the road for a couple hours this morning, I decided to give my twin brother Wes a call, find out where in this country he was, because he drives truck cross country and you never know where he's going to be. Well, instead of telling me where he was, he asked me where I was, and I told him I was about 10 minutes north of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, heading south. And he said, well, why don't you stop over at the Petro off exit 226 in Carlisle and come eat lunch with me. I'll tell you what, that was certainly a surprise for me. And I don't know about you, but I certainly believe in serendipity, because that's the second time this week that something like that has happened. And it was wonderful getting together with him. I see him once or twice a year as he drives sometimes to Atlanta and is laid over for a night or two. So it was a great morning. We got caught up on his family and his kids and his grandkids, and my family and my kids and my grandkids. And then we started talking about the inevitable, the big soon-to-be 6-0. Actually, it's several months away, but I told him that we need to get together for our 60th, because it's a big milestone, and it'd be nice just to celebrate it together in person. So we'll see how that pans out and where it's going to be. Wes said it had been a few months since his truck had been washed, so he was glad to get it taken care of. That made it look like a brand new truck. Even though it's a 2019, it has over 250,000 miles on it. As my good friend Chris Potter said, there's nothing like good truck stop food. During this drive home in the car, I've had some good think time, and I think what I'd like to do is put together a video in the next few days for my YouTube channel that talks about 10 things that I learned or was reminded about Canada and about riding, and some other thoughts that I've had. Keep your eye out for that in the next few days. Today, when I packed all my stuff on the bike, I had my leather jacket folded up and put on the back seat, and then I had my leather chaps folded up and put on the back seat, and then on top of that was my small backpack, and I had that strapped down with bungee cords. Well, once you know it, I was going through this one small town, and I felt like a clunk, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and there are my chaps laying in the street. So I quickly pulled the bike over and went and grabbed them and packed them back on the back of the bike a little bit better this time, or so I thought. So I'm zooming through this next town, or I guess it was a couple towns later, and I got to a red light, about to turn onto the highway, and some lady pulls up beside me and said, "Sir, you dropped your jacket back there in the road." I said, "How far back?" And she goes, "Oh, probably a couple miles." So I thanked her kindly, and I turned around and went back to find them, and sure enough, there's those leather chaps again, those brand new ones, laying in the road. So I pulled the bike over and went and grabbed them and packed them on this time, and put an extra bungee cord around them finally. And so that's where they stayed the rest of the trip, thankfully. Several weeks ago, I made a reservation for a stay over in Roanoke at Best Western. Well, this morning I got the bright idea of maybe I'll just drive all the way from Reading, Pennsylvania, all the way home to Cumming, Georgia. It would only been about an 11-hour drive. So I canceled my reservation at the Best Western here in Roanoke, Virginia. Given my journey the past 2 weeks, my wife advised strongly against that, and also my brother Wes suggested that I stay over in Roanoke anyway, because it's still another 7 or 8 hour drive from Roanoke down to the Atlanta area. So I heeded both of their advice, and I'm glad I did, because I'm pretty tired out. So I'm just going to get a good night's rest.
A one-night stay for two queens?
Okay, that's fine. If the
King's probably
right.
King's probably.
Let me get that last name spelled out again, please.
Sure. D-O-E.
The mountains were beautiful on today's drive, and it was good to finally reach my exit here at Roanoke. So here's my exit. So once again, thanks for watching my video, and there's only one more day of adventure.